So we now go on to our penultimate final of the day. This time it's DD2. Your grid is as follows. On the front row, it will be Zonder Przyblak and Glenn Van Parijs from Belgium, respectively. DJ Liveris from Greece and Bas Lammers from the Netherlands round out the top two rows ahead of Wout Antonissen and Daniel Mahacek from Belgium and Austria, respectively. Lasse Andreasen and Sebastian Janczewski from Denmark and Poland round out the top four rows, ahead of Marcel Steinert from Germany and Silas Ritter from Denmark, who round out the top 10 positions. Jan Negusens from Belgium and Mick Knowlton round out the top 6 rows, ahead of Germany's Oliver Breitenbach and the Netherlands' Luc Schepers. Max Fleischmann and Chris Kopp, both representing Germany, will start on row 8, ahead of Florian Breitenbach and Jordi Klebold, with Jamie Billings, Maxime de Hicks, and then Brindley Kinch rounding out the 21 strong here at the home of champions. And again, we have 13 minutes plus an additional lap set on the timer to tick away as soon as we go lights out. You can hear the drivers revving their engines, getting themselves fired up and ready. Each driver having their own way of getting into the zone and getting ready to go racing. So the red lights are on the starting gantry. It's down to Przyblak and Van Parijs to start proceedings. They go into the tram lines. They wait for the field to start getting into some form of formation. We go lights out in DD2, heading into turn 1. And Lammers just absolutely sends it from 4th position. Van Parijs trying to hustle his way past Przyblak. Liveris down into 6th place, having been passed. I think one of them would have been Wout Antonissen and the other one Daniel Mahacek. So the Greek driver down to 6th place. And Bas Lammers fancies his chance at a victory to get his season well and truly underway here at Karting Genk, as Van Parijs all over the back bumper. Oh, he's trying to force Przyblak wide going through turn 8. But he can't get past, and he goes around the outside. It's side by side, and Bas Lammers gets past the pair of them. Oh my goodness! Bas Lammers trying to fight his way to the front of the field. Through into the right-hand sweeper at turn 10. Przyblak in the lead. Lammers up the inside of Van Parijs. Oh my goodness, this is well and truly game on. Oh, Bas Lammers has absolutely lit the powder keg well and truly, and he's definitely come into this race fired up and wanting to go for a victory. And this is why this is, as I said earlier, the experience of the Dutchman tells a tale. And we are seeing it firsthand. You guys and girls at home are seeing it live on your screens at home. The magic that Bas Lammers can bring to a race. And now, Zonder Przyblak has, I think he's probably feeling the bullseye that's on the back of his Bovin Power race overalls right now. Because I think Bas Lammers, if he had another half a kart length, he probably might have swept around the outside going through into turn 10. And you can just see how hard Przyblak is working behind the wheel. I'm just going to keep an eye on some steering inputs here. I mean, Bas Lammers is taking a wider line going through turn 12. He's going to get the run coming through down onto the main straightaway. He's going to pull towards the right-hand side. He jinks to the left. And again, he sends it, and this time takes the lead. Great move. You know, doing the old Nigel Mansell dummy was Bas Lammers on Zonder Przyblak. And I definitely thought I'd never be saying those 3 driver names in the same sentence alone. But Glenn Van Parijs can't be counted out of this. He's still quite up close and personal to the back of the 401, the 2-time defending and reigning BNL Karting Series champion. Then the train is being led by Austria's Daniel Mahacek. Then it's got Wout Antonissen, DJ Liveris, Max Fleischmann now is up into P7. He started in 15th as Liveris gets up the inside of Antonissen for P5. And then Fleischmann is definitely looking incredibly racy, is the German. He has also been a Grand Finals participant in his own right. He's competed in the Rotax Max Euro Trophy and Rotax Max Challenge Germany. as up the inside. That was the move. I think that was that Fleischmann. I'm just keeping an eye. No, not quite yet, because Antonissen actually got past Fleischmann through into turn number 2. And good to see Patrick Rundqvist actually watching as well. I hope you're keeping well. Another Swede that has been racing quite recently. Obviously, he's been racing in the Porsche Carrera Cup Scandinavia most recently, and he has been always good to chat to him as well. I hope you're keeping well, Patrick, as Bas Lammers continues to lead the way. 9.5 minutes or so still to go. Here is the running order. Still 21 drivers circulating. At the moment, it is being led by the Dutch powerhouse that is Bas Lammers. We've got Sander Schriblak, Glenn van Parijs, all literally scrabbling all over each other, trying to go for the lead of this race. Daniel Mahacek, DJ Liveris, Max Fleischmann, Wout Antonissen, Silas Ritter, Jan Negusens. Jan Negusens, Lasse Andresen has got past Marcel Steinert. Marcel Steinert and Mick Knowlton. They're now into the top 12. Ahead of Poland's Sebastian Janczewski, Florian Breitenbach, Luke Schiepers ran out the top 15 ahead of Oliver Breitenbach. Jori Klebort rounds out the top 17 ahead of Maxim de Hicks. And then we've also got Jamie Billings, Brindley Kinch and Chris Kopp rounding out the 21 strong, as the leaders are definitely trying to battle between themselves. However, Bas Lammers has started opening up some daylight between himself and Sander Schriblak. Now, Schriblak took the first win earlier on this afternoon. It started just after 14 minutes past 2 this afternoon, according to official timing data that I have in front of me. As Lammers now, that gap looks to be closer to more than half a second, if I'm very much mistaken. 0.435, so he's eked out another 0.3 or so, and he's just put in a 55.006. But in the meantime, DJ Liveris from Greece has just put in an absolutely thunderous lap of 54.880. Fastest one of the race so far. And drivers that have gone sub 55 seconds, there are only 2. Liveris is one of them. Mahacek in 4th is the other. And Mahacek has put in a 54.928, and he did that on exactly the same lap as DJ Liveris. But there is about 0.6 of a second between them at the moment. However, you can still call that time up within 7 minutes and 38 seconds plus an additional lap. But Lammers looking to just keep it consistent, keep it composed, make sure that you hit your braking points, you hit your apexes, you power out of the corner correctly, you don't put in too much steering input that causes you to either understeer or oversteer. And there are so many thoughts, so many calculations, and it's all about feel. And that is why when a lot of people decide that they want to stay in karting, that is where I see the appeal. And from my perspective as a commentator, just seeing how close the action is at many different points on the circuit. As Mahacek, was that Mahacek going sideways into turn 7? Oh, I think that was definitely a heart in the mouth moment for the Austrian. And that has given an opportunity for others to close in on him as a result of that. But that was very, very sideways. Let's just see. Well, Mahacek actually is in P3, so that might have been somebody else that went sideways. I think that might have been possibly Lasse Andresen, because their overalls are quite similar in terms of the colour scheme, let alone the writing that's on them. There's only so far I can see in front of me. But Bas Lammers now there is, I've noticed now where it, so Bas Lammers, Glenn van Parijs has got past Sander Schriblak, and Sander Schriblak is now into P4. Could I ask that 314 Senior Rotax, Morris Schuring to the stewards immediately. Morris Schuring, 314 Senior Rotax to the stewards immediately. And now you see this battle between Sander Schriblak as Liveris has actually got past. Now I'm just seeing on the lap times, Schriblak did a 55.3 last time around. Liveris has been putting in fastest laps, but then along comes Bas Lammers and says, "Oh, I'll have a fastest lap then, please." He put in a 54.585. He's just gone over a 1/10.5 quicker, 54.434. But Glenn van Parijs is within 40 hundredths, 4 hundredths of a second, 40 thousandths thereof, as Liveris is battling away with Schriblak. Now, these two were at loggerheads last season. And I remember that when we left Karting d'Espagne last year in July, and we're looking forward to returning there in 2021, next year. Obviously, we can't go there because of obviously restrictions that have been imposed on the region as a result of it. But Liveris came out of that round leading the championship, and I've never seen I've seen some white teeth smiles, and then I saw one from him, and I saw his celebration coming across the start-finish line after the second final, and you could see that he felt like, yeah, this feels good. Now he's ahead of the current two-time defending champion, and this is going to give us some motivation. Let's not forget, but the drivers that will go for the title this year will have to be calm, composed, strategic, methodical, and quite a few other superlatives that I probably can't really bring to mind at the moment, but you've got to have the all-round package is what I'm saying here. So Liveris doing a really good job at the minute, as quite a few other drivers still are making positional changes. Jamie Billings has got past Jordi Klebort for P18, as Janchevsky gets past Luke Shapers for P14, so some other positional changes at the moment. Still, it's starting to stretch out a little bit now, because the gap between Bas Lammers and Glenn van Parijs is now just over 0.47 of a second. Let's have a look at the gap this time, 0.578, so an increase of about a tenth of a second. Excuse me, frog in the throat there. Daniel Mahacek has just gone 11 thousandths quicker than Bas Lammers and has just taken the fastest lap. So that, I count, is 4 different drivers so far. So Mahacek has had it, Lammers has had it, Van Parijs, and then Liveris has had it. I think also Schiblak has also had a faster lap in this race. We're fast approaching the last 3 or so minutes, plus an additional lap in this race. And at the moment, on your screens for those watching at home, you've got the 444 of Silas Ritter, who's just up ahead of, I think that might be, and just that's probably Wout Antonissen, who's just behind, but that will be the battle for 6th and 7th position. We'll just keep an eye on the timing screen just to see if that does change. And Ritter is up into P6, as Andresen has got Marcel Steinert and Mick Knowlton battling away with him. That is the battle for P8 on the road, so 8th to 10th position, covered by 0.198 of a second. Now Knowlton, I remember when I started commentating in Europe on Mick Knowlton, and he was in senior Rotax, and we'd had so many discussions about, oh yeah, well, I'm buying a house, I might not be racing anymore, and then I come and see him like this year, and he's gone like, yeah, moved up into DD2, and here comes Lasse Andresen up the inside to retake the position from Marcel Steinert. Mick Knowlton's sitting back a little bit. He's got Jan Nygustens and Florian Breitenbach not too far behind, but Bas Lammers continuing to lead the way and then retakes back the fastest lap of the race, a 54.264. So it's put up or shut up, isn't it, really, on fastest lap times? They do say times are for show, but points are to go. But if you're pumping in fastest laps like that with that amount of experience, it definitely does show that irrespective of which category you compete in, if you can do that consistently, which Bas Lammers is known for doing so, that is why he is where he is in this particular form of motorsport. As there's a move up the inside, I think that was one of the Breitenbachs there, as that will be, yeah, that would be Jan Nygustens being overtaken by Florian Breitenbach, who is the furthest up the field of the two brothers, with Oliver down in 14th behind Sebastian Janchevsky, who's just passed him. As Lammers again crosses the line, we now go on to lap number 14 of this race. 1 minute and 2 seconds, plus an additional lap left to go. And the gap now between himself, and again, for the second lap in succession, Bas Lammers puts in a 54.223 on that lap, on lap number 13 of the race. So, this is a masterclass by Lammers at the front of the field. He's just keeping it consistent. But when you look at the quality and the caliber of both Van Parijs and also Mahacek, Liveris, Schiblak, they are all very, very good racers in their own right. As we now come into the final 30 seconds of this race, plus an additional lap. So, just about to come across the start-finish line. Lammers now powers out of the final corner, crosses the line with 11 seconds on the clock, so this is the penultimate lap of this race and also of the day for DD2, and we will see them tomorrow, and they will have their timed qualifying at 12 o'clock midday effectively, so we'll have a later lunch break from tomorrow because they'll have we'll have the warm-up. We'll then have the 8-minute plus 1 additional lap senior Rotax side of things for the second chance heat for the final 6 spots in the finals tomorrow, so we'll have a maximum of 36 carts on the grid. So Jordi Klebot and Chris Cope unfortunately have retired, as now this time around when I see him come through out of turn 11, and there is Baz Lammers in the 445 Sodi kart chassis. He will now get the final lap board. So 1,360 metres to go for Baz Lammers. And it's Glenn Van Parijs, Daniel Mahacek, DJ Liveris, Zander Schablak. That is your top 5 at the moment, all covered by 5 seconds. And the gap now between Lammers and Van Parijs is now 1.3 seconds. And Mick Knowlton looks like he's got past Marcel Steinert for P9, as Florian Breitenbach is trying to close in on the trio in front, but I think it's a bit too little too late, so to speak, trying to nearly trip over my words there. But Knowlton could have an opportunity to strike at Lasse Andreasen if he gets a chance in the next few corners, but it might be. But I've seen Mick Knowlton do that kind of thing before, and I'm not going to put it past him at all. But Baz Lammers will now be welcomed home after 16 laps to take the checkered flag in the DD2 final, a fist bump of the year. Baz Lammers takes it ahead of Glenn Van Parijs. So the Netherlands win ahead of Belgium, and Austria being represented in the top 3 by Daniel Mahacek. Last but by no means least in that top 3. Liveris from Greece takes 4th place ahead of Schablak in 5th position, with Silas Ritter, Wout Antonissen, Lasse Andreasen, Marcel Steinert and Mick Knowlton taking the last position in the top 10. But what a run by Baz Lammers from the Netherlands, who wins the DD2 final here on day 1 of the first round of the BNL karting series in 2020 by 1.424 seconds. Absolutely textbook, metronomic precision by the Dutch driver, as he now will head into the pits. Second is Glenn Van Parijs. Daniel Mahacek rounds out the top 3, and let's have a look at the rest of the running order. DJ Liveris from Dams Racing in 4th ahead of Buvin Powers, Zander Schablak, the 2-time reigning and defending champion in BNL for DD2. Ahead of Silas Ritter, Wout Antonissen, Lasse Andreasen, Marcel Steinert, Mick Knowlton, Florian Breitenbach, Janne Gussens, Sebastian Janchevski, Oliver Breitenbach, Luke Schiepers, Max Fleischmann, Jamie Billings, Brindley Kinch and Maxim de Higsch ahead of, and that is Brindley Kinch now coming to a stop just off of the entrance into turn 9 there, with Jordi Klebort and Chris Cope rounding out the 21 strong, with both finishing their race on lap number 12.